Imagine a warrior so fierce he took on 800 men alone, another who stood his ground when an entire army fled, and a third who fought a lion in a pit on a snowy day. These weren't just warriors. They were David's mighty men, some of the most savage fighters in the Bible. These men didn't just fight, they made history. And today, we're diving into the legendary warriors who fought for King David. Before David became king, he was a fugitive on the run from King Saul. But even in exile, the toughest warriors in Israel gathered around him. They weren't just soldiers. They were elite fighters. And three of them? Absolute legends. First, let's talk about Josheb-Basshebeth, also known as Adion the Eznite. This guy was a one-man army. In a single battle, he killed 800 men with a spear. 800. Think about that, 800 men against one. You'd think he'd run, but no, he fought until the battlefield was silent. Then there's Eleazar. When the Israelite army retreated, Eleazar didn't budge. He stood alone, gripping his sword, and fought. He fought for so long that his hand literally froze to his sword. The muscles locked up, and he couldn't let go. By the time the Israelites came back, they weren't needed. Eleazar had already wiped out the enemy. And then there's Benaiah the lion slayer. Benaiah wasn't just a warrior, he was a monster. He took on a giant Egyptian fighter and killed him with his own spear. But that's not even the craziest part. One day, Benaiah spotted a lion. Instead of walking away, he chased it into a pit. It was snowing, slippery ground. No way out. And Benaiah? He fought the lion barehanded and won. But wait, there's more. Beyond the first three, there was another group of three who also stood out. They weren't quite as legendary as the first, but they were no less important. This group was led by Abishai, David's nephew, and the brother of Joab, the commander of David's army. Abishai was a fierce warrior in his own right. He once struck down 300 men in a single battle. But his leadership in the second squad wasn't the only thing that made him legendary. And Benaiah, who fought alongside the first three, also became part of this second group. Later, he would rise to become captain of David's guard, a position of great honor. But the third member of this second squad remains nameless. Despite his anonymity, we can infer that he was highly skilled, just like his comrades. Together, these warriors were second only to the first three in terms of skill and honor. And there were others whose contributions can't be overlooked. Take Naharai, for instance. Naharai was one of the 30, but his role as an armor-bearer for Joab, David's most trusted general, made him stand out. Armor-bearers weren't just there to carry weapons. They were elite warriors in their own right. They fought alongside their leaders, and Naharai proved his skill time and time again, making him a key part of David's team. Then there's Uriah the Hittite, a name most famous for his tragic betrayal at the hands of David. But what most people forget is that Uriah was one of the 30, an elite warrior who fought with honor. Uriah was a warrior of great skill, and like the rest of the 30, he may have joined David while David was still on the run from King Saul. He was a fierce fighter, but his legacy was overshadowed by the betrayal that led to his death. These warriors weren't just fighters, they were legends. Their loyalty, their courage, and their faith made them unstoppable. And in the end, these savage warriors helped make David king. So, which of David's mighty men do you think was the most legendary? The spearman, the last stand warrior, the lion slayer, one of the second three, or perhaps the honorary mentions, Naharai or Uriah? Let us know in the comments. And if you love action-packed Bible stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic content. Until next time, stay bold, stay faithful, and stay epic.